Hello and welcome to another edition of the Eternal Journey. I'm the Resolves, and this is Hooru Fliers. So I saw the player Vanquish in the ETS this weekend, picked up this deck. Obviously not afraid of in cold blood, and I'll be honest, when you're able to pressure them with just this many justice units, it's perhaps not even that much of an issue. As if your opponent wants to be paying 4 to be just sorcery speed, removal wannabe threats, and when you're in a deck that's playing Unseal, and a bunch of huge beefy units like the Shelterwing Rider and the Amilli Cloudmarshal, then so be it. This means that the rest of the flies are just going to be getting in there and giving them the business. Of course, the other line of text in Cold Blood is going to be coming into play here, but unfortunately we do have a little bit of Aegis here because we do have the Cobalt Waystone, as well as hopefully just being able to catch it unawares with the Unseal. Did make a few changes here because I did put the Unseals in the main deck and shave down the Vanquishes, but I think the only real huge units that we're going to have a problem with here are going to be Sandstorm Titan perhaps, but we do have some good answers to that because we've already got this free Vanquish here, the Valkyrie Enforcers, and we've got, with this spicy bit of technology over here in the mirror image, we've got an additional 2 copies of Valkyrie Enforcer if the first copy wasn't enough to do the job. Mirror image can do some interesting things in this deck, and I didn't think I'd be playing a deck with mirror image that didn't also have Macto, but here we are. As it can give us additional copies of Unseen Commando, which could perhaps just give you lethal out of nowhere, as well as additional copies of Hooru when you're against matchups where you really want to make sure that they're just not going to get any weapons down. I'm sure a friend of the show, Feeling, will be very happy to finally see me putting these Nostrix Lord of Visions to some work. Hopefully you've just pressured your opponent's removal so much that by the time the Nostrix gets down, you'll be able to dodge any sort of in cold bloods and you'll be able to get some real good value here, especially as Nostrix is very good at blocking Icarias. The Mentor ability from Nostrix is pretty good on any of our units, although I think we'll probably want to be sticking it on one of our Aegis units, so the Crownwatch Paladin or the Shelterwing Rider, although in a pinch, more than happy just to have a huge Amilli in matchups where they don't have any shadow-based removal. So against Praxis, if you're able to give Amilli the boost, then there's literally no way your opponent's going to be able to deal with it. The Primal is pretty sweet as well. We obviously don't have the crest yet, sadly, but we do have a little bit of the Emerald Monument magic here. And just one weapon's probably fine to be in a deck with Hooru Pacifiers. But we've also got the Cobalt Monument, which just makes us be a little bit more threat dense, as well as just being able to play more power because we do really want to be hitting 5 and 6. Cobalt Waystone, of course, here is going to be protecting us from any sort of burn that would be directed at our face, as well as any discard, as we don't have too much interaction, so we really do want to protect it. It does also mean that if we play this on 4 as an activated Cobalt Waystone, then we can feel quite safe in playing a unit that we've got multiples of in hand and not needing to be worried about getting blown out with a 2-for-1 or greater in cold blood. Okay, so I've said enough about the deck. Let's get onto those games. Okay, we're on the draw here for a reasonably slow hand. We have a pretty good power because we've got 2 of each. There's also Permafrost and the Valkyrie Enforcer here. We're on the draw as well though, so I think maybe we want to find something a little bit more proactive here. This is pretty much perfect, so we've got... Okay, especially against this sort of matchup, this is a lot better. We're going to really get to show these Kothons. These are really going to give our opponent the business. I'm probably going to be leading with Kothons here, and then Kothon into Hooru Pacifier, just to sort of bait out any sort of torches here, so that we're able to stick the Unseen Commando, and that should do a good job. But now we've got the finest hour. I could actually just play a second copy of Kothon and hold this up. I think I'm pretty much just gonna... Yep, I'm more than happy just to trade with the Oni Ronin. We do still have an Oni Ronin left, and the free one here is going to be a little bit of a problem. I think right here though, we're just going to chuck the 3-4 out. Our opponent has a Permafrost that's pretty rough. Our opponent's going to get in for 5, but we will be able to just Valkyrie Enforcer down there. And we are facing down a 5-4 here. So I'm probably just going to block here with the finest style just to put us out of Vadius range. A torch does counter that play. So I think what we're going to be doing next is, I think we just want to use this Valkyrie Enforcer. Although I would really like to get this Unseen Commando going as soon as possible. But we'll just... let's pop this Aegis, because if we draw a Vanquish then we'll just be able to bosh this if things do go badly. And now I've got a couple more different options that we can take. So here we have 7 toughness here, so we get blown up by a torch, but if we do the finest hour on the Valkyrie Enforcer, we'll get blown up by a rock slide. So I'd rather cut it down to less. We didn't see a fast effect there, so we're happy just to get in there blocking with the Pacifier. Just train our finest hour for one of our opponent's better threats here. And now we're facing down another Vadius here. I'd really like to have been able to double spell here if we're drawing a power, so sadly we won't be able to do that. The 3-4 doesn't do very much against the 4-3 here, so I suppose we'll just start to try and get aggressive. The 3-3 should be able to hold back this Oni Ronin, as should the 2-3 over here. But now I think we're going to be able to just sort of turn the corner. I probably won't be able to play any more of the Oni weapons here, so they are getting in there with the 3-1, and I'm happy just to trade with the slightly worse flyer. And here we go, so we should be able to double spell here. And have a pretty impressive board back. And if we draw a power here, well, if it's Primal, I might just get in there with the Nostrix. As a Nostrix will just clear up the board, as well as being able to give our lifesteal unit just a +5/+5. But this right here, if our opponent's got a spell here, then so be it. We'll just take out the 2-2. Because a quick draw is a bit of a nuisance to be... Okay, well, we didn't draw a power. So I just need to have a little consider what I'm doing here. We do get to game for 8-11 in the air. And that doesn't leave us dead to much. We'll just attack with 2 for now. I think we'll keep this just because it does a good job with these 2-1s. And right here we'll just we'll cut off the overwhelm here. If we draw power, we should be able to win on the spot, but it's going to be very unlikely our opponent's able to win with this swing here. I mean, we could just underblock and get blown up by Riley, but I don't see that happening. Just going to attack for 4 and just going to let it go for it. Yep, no blocks. Yep, I'm gonna give it up. Okay, we're on the draw here with a reasonably reactive hand. But I'm ideally looking for something a little bit more proactive than just a Valkyrie Enforcer on 3 with a finest hour. Now, this is slightly more like it, but not exactly with these double Nostrixes against, fortunately, an Argenport opponent who won't be able to in cold blood the first one. Okay, well, we're playing against the high roll Anointed deck, which is probably not good for us. Although at least our opponent does go really ham with a Order of the Spire, then we'll be able to Permafrost it down. So we'll just get in there, try and get these war cries rolling for when we finally draw a threat. I think I'm not super concerned about this annoying right yet. We'll kind of give our opponent like the one power boost by just being unexhausted. As it's done here, would rather save them for the more scary units, like the Copper Hull Paladin here. And here we go, as soon as we draw another Justice Source, we'll have a 5/9 Amilli here. But let's get this out of here. I am reasonably suspicious of this Crownwatch Paladin in this deck with no weapons or any real ways in the early game to be able to buff it, but we do have just enough interaction with this Permafrost to at least be able to just tick it up a little bit and just be a general nuisance for our opponents. It's an interesting play. Perhaps our opponent's got like a Dark Return or something. Our opponent does have the 1/3 to block here. I think we're just going to play the Amilli out. The sooner we get this tick in, the better. And if our opponent doesn't have an Annihilate or they have another copy of Vanquish, then that's sort of fine. We just sort of need to get this out of the way. There's the Dark Return I was expecting, but we do have another Permafrost just to give this one the business. But let's get this Nostrix rolling. This is quite the war cry our Crownwatch Paladin's just given. It's actually very good here because we're going to be able to be a general nuisance here just with this Hooru Pacifier. I'm going to keep back on this Permafrost here. And as we've already got the face Aegis, I'm not going to play the Cobalt Waystone. I'll play it next turn if we really need the power, so if we need to Nostrix plus Permafrost. But fortunately, the Hooru Pacifier here did a reasonable job of countering that play. This is pretty good for us as well here. Get Permafrostist again. Getting another war cry. I think we're just going to chuck down the Amilli. So we're a little short for this sort of Nostrix and Unseen Commando, but get the Unseen Commando in there. I'm perhaps being a little bit cautious and not actually just playing this out as a 5/7, just really trying to get the most out of this ability. And here's Tabrod. So we can get him for 4 here with the Unseen Commando, which is a reasonably nice play here. Pretty sure our opponent will be able to hit like a Rune Hammer here, which would be pretty gross for us. We'll chuck this in just to grab a Justice Source. And I think we'll just Nostrix here on the Unseen Commando. Get those really going. And we've got a reasonable blocker here for the Tabrod actually. And if it gets finished off by a Rune Hammer, then that's more than fine by me. And if I put hit something like more reactive or more proactive rather, doesn't really work in our opponent's turn, like a we'll just block the 7/6 here. Our opponent's got like a finest hour then, that's great. Yep, so they've given up there because we do have lethal in the air. I was a little bit concerned there about if our opponent did have a Auric Rune Hammer. Okay, so easy redraw here. It's pretty nice, we've got a really good power for the game here. We've got double of each. So we're against Argenport again here. We'll just chuck out the banner, although we can probably rely on the Crownwatch Paladin sticking about. I'd probably rather just get the power down and get it started. I think in this matchup, I perhaps want to just save the Kothon a little bit later for our opponent to have used like 2 removal spells here. And against the Arc Interrogate, we've lined up pretty well here, as we are able to just vanquish it out of the way. Although actually, we'll just Unseen Commando here, because we don't get to offer the trade, as we do get to attack him for free here. So if they trade, that's fine, because I feel like we're slightly ahead there, both on power and we've got a Warcry. My opponent's got a removal spell here, that's reasonably gross, but next turn I think I'm just going to be playing the Kothon and holding up the Unseal for a little while. The Valkyrie Enforcer here is a little bit of a nuisance. I feel I'll just enforce them right back. Sadly our Commando is not doing very much here. The Valkyrie Enforcers are pretty good against other flyers because they generally get to knock them out of the sky. And our opponent doesn't have many units that just accrue value just by existing, so us having the Vanquish and the Permafrost here is pretty good. Although obviously the Permafrost is not excellent against a bunch of our opponent's units, as they do have the Crownwatch Traitor and Tavrod. But here we are, grabbing back the Auric Interrogator. I probably will get to draw a card from this, sadly. But we do also just get to vanquish it and keep up this Unseal for a little while if our opponent wants to try and do anything with Slay. We've got a reasonable threat here as well with the Kothon, that once we hit 6 we're just going to turn it into another owl and just have a bunch of flyers here. Our opponent turning the Dark Return into a cantrip is pretty potent here. I suppose we're just vanquishing here, as Permafrost is not the greatest answer against this. And let's keep chunking in for free. And no reason not to just hold up the Unseal for now. Fortunately, a lot of our opponent's removal doesn't work here, like the Vanquish is, and it has to be a Slay. And sort of reactive spells like Unseal are pretty good against that. Although right here was perhaps an instance where we'd have much rather had something like a Protect, actually. This Auric Interrogator is not coming back again. Let's just counter that. And just offer the trade here, more than happy. One doesn't take it, so perhaps they do have like a bloodletter or something. No, just some sort of weapon to put on. But for the most part, I'm just hoping that we're able to ride this Amilli to victory. Although we're now turned on our opponent's Vanquishes, so it could just get gobbled up straight away. Yep, that was a slay-worthy target for the opponent. Bloodletter's here, we finally found a Permafrost target. But actually, we've got a 6A here, so we'll go in for free here. And I think we'll just have a huge Kothon. As the 6A does a reasonable job of blocking the 6-6. And if we draw any Kothons now, they are pretty live, as they're going to be huge endurance units. Sadly, the 7-8 here is not looking great against the 2-2 Deadly. But I'm more than happy just to attack in here. Okay, so we're going in with the 5-3 flyer, so let's just Permafrost this. As this is able to just nullify the Inquisitor's Blade. This is probably going to do the trick. This deck's actually been impressing me a lot more than I thought it might have done. No blocks for me. I'm happy to take my 9 and just crack back for 1,000,000. Nostrix is really giving our opponents the business in these games. Give me all GG's. Okay, so sadly got to redraw this one, though I was happy to see Nostrix in that one. So we're on the play here, and our power's pretty good. Just need to grab a Justice here. They're doing to find another Justice here to be able to play the Amilli and the Nostrix. But the age-old curve of the Valkyrie Fawcett into the Shelterwing Rider should be good enough to do the job here. And the Hooru banner was pretty perfect. So we're playing against, okay, so now I part some sort of removal pile, and looks like the traditional armory here. The Crownwatch Paladin right on time. But more than happy just to silence the Recano out of him. Just give it the business so that it's no, unlikely to be any dark return nonsense, but there could be a smuggler stash in my future. Just rather just remove the text from it. And here we go, this Shelterwing Rider, which is traditionally quite good against armory decks, as it does blank a lot of their weapons, even if they manage to pop the Aegis. The Runehammer is Runehammer's a 5-2 now because of the Recano, but if a opponent did have one in hand, they won't be doing very much with it. So this is probably something that our opponent's got, like a torch. But if they want to use that here, I'm much happier because our deck does include the Kothon Firewatcher and Crownwatch Paladin. So if they want to use it here, then I'm more than happy just to have turned this into actual 2-for-1. Opponent could just be curving into Harsh Rule here, and we'll get too badly owned by just leaving the Kothon up. So I think we'll just not do that. We'll just keep the Permafrost to keep this quiet and be able to get in there with the Crownwatch Paladin. There's the Runehammer I was a little bit concerned about. And I guess we're just sitting back here. Don't just want to get the Kothon out there and let our opponent turn their weapon into 2-for-1. So our opponent's getting dangerously close to a carry, and considering we're not being able to deploy any of our bigger threats here, then I think we'll be in pretty rough shape. So we'll play the Amilli out here. Our opponent can, you know, sort of get us here, but they've got the slight. But what our opponent could have done if they had the Daisho in hand was they could attack with the 4-1 Runehammer, get rid of that, play a Daisho, and then be able to get rid of the Amilli. Although right now the play is just to make a Nostrix, turn this Shelterwing Rider into an actual threat. So we've got the old 5-10 here, and this 5-7 should be able to give most of our opponent's weapons and the carriers the business. Our opponent wants to trade a torch plus this weapon, then more than happy. But the quality of threats in our deck is a lot higher now that Nostrix is hit. And we're getting to the point where I can actually play and activate Kothon in the same turn, so I'm just going to offer up the Valkyrie Enforcer to the Runehammer Gods, although perhaps it's just correct here just to have something in play. Because now our opponent has to kill the Kothon, otherwise next turn we'll just activate it. And then we're able to start trucking in there with the Valkyrie Enforcer. Although this is very unlikely to be a game that's in our favour here. Okay, so our opponent must have another removal spell here. Okay, it's the Valkyrie Enforcer. I suppose that's more than fine. Just make the Storm Dancer. Our opponent finds a Rising Challenge here. Pretty sure we died if we're not able to find one of our Shelterwing Riders first. I suppose we'll just Gemblade this up just so we've got an array of threats. The Permafrost is unlikely to be doing anything, so we're just using to push some damage. Opponent took the damage, which is leave me not quite sure what I want to be believing in. Well, I guess they're leading up a double block. Well, let's just shut this down so we're able to just attack him for 5. And then hopefully we're just able to go wide enough where we're able to go around a carry to be able to kill our opponent. Although if our opponent does a harsh rule, then we're in. Oh wow, so a 10-10 carrier. Yeah, you want to be a space in there, friend. And yeah, we'll take 10. This is the point where we really need to be finding our Shelterwing rider, and sadly we didn't find it here. Yeah, there's not much that our Valkyrie Force can do, so we'll give this carry the business and then move on to the last game. Okay, so here we are with the last game, and we've finally seen the mirror image, but we do have to mulligan this hand. This is potentially quite nice. We draw another Paladin, we'll be just keeping hold of this Cobalt Monument so we can use it as a threat. We'll perhaps be playing this on 5 just to protect the Amilli Cloudmarshal. Right, a time-based deck should be a pretty nice matchup for us here, because we do have a mono flying thing going on. As long as this isn't Xena, then we should be able to stick the Amilli. Okay, so it's pretty much what we want to be seeing here, just praxis. Our opponent can very easily just give us a hard time with this sort of deck, especially as we'll be able to torch a bunch of our threats, but we're just going to get down the Hooru Pacifier first. Our opponent has to, like a slow speed purify hit, we're still left with a threat, or they have to at least play another card to deal with it. So just play the unseen, get in for 4. I imagine that the unseen commando, the unseen sort of thing of having 2 battle skills, is the reason that the Hooru Pacifier has 2 abilities. This is pretty much why I didn't play the Unseen Commando first. Now we've got the finest hour. Well, we'll be getting it for free first. Now we're not super concerned about getting Carnosaur here, so we do have a 4-8. This could just be a... Okay, this could be something here. I don't believe that Killer actually stacks. Okay, so our opponent's had enough. Praxis does have a hard time to deal with the Amilli. Okay, so that was Hooru Fliers. I was really impressed by the Nostrix Lord of Visions. I did actually, after In Cold Blood was printed, felt pretty rough because I just crafted this card just a couple of days before. So I was glad that I actually got my Shiftstone's value out of it today. Sadly in the game against Armory we never got to see the unit that gave the buff, but other than that it does generally do a good job at blocking anything like a Macto or a carrier. And when we are in ranked we are playing decks that do play sets of our units, so we are able to get some reasonable value out of this. I think obviously the better targets for either Shelterwing Rider and the Crownwatch Paladin, although there are often matchups as well where I'm betting that the Unseen Commando and the Amilli are just going to be the perfect targets. As we saw in the game against Praxis, our opponent just gave up because Praxis is going to have a pretty rough day at dealing with Amilli, as it's got the 8 toughness, and as we saw them previously having such a rough time with Tavrod with 7 toughness, 8 toughness is just another level. This is powered up Obelisk plus Carnosaur to deal. Sadly we never got to have any fun with the mirror image, but overall I thought the deck was quite nice and it all ran together smoothly. I was a little bit curious about the Crownwatch Paladin, but the Warcries actually really worked out for us in a couple of the games there. I do generally prefer to pair Crownwatch Paladin with something like the Paladin Oathbook or a bunch of weapons, specifically the Inquisitor's Blade. But right here, just a couple of other spells like the Finest Hours and the Permafrost is usually enough to be able to get you through there. And when you're able to turn the Crownwatch Paladin into a 2-for-1, then it just means that a lot of your other units are just much more survivable. Okay, so thanks for watching. I pinned that resolves, and this was Hooru Fliers.